You're happy, you're the vibe, the energy. You get out what you put in. You get out what you put in. Never gonna lose, never gonna win. Long as you're happy, you're always gonna grin.
Very,
you
very
get out what you put in. You get out what you put in. You
I
get
can now say I'm a TEDx speaker.
right.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like reminiscing, wasn't it, Caroline?
Oh, that was so lovely. I was getting quite emotional watching all that back.
Me too. If you're listening on the podcast, you would not have seen the intro video that I did. But yeah, it's basically all the best bits from the Accountex Takeover. And I've got none other than herself, the Queen of Accountex, Caroline Hobden. How are you?
I am so good. And you know what? I've missed our weekly catch-ups, actually. It was so fun. It was a regular part of my diary and I got so much from it. So it's lovely to see you and be back here again.
Yeah, we booked this in around the time of Accountex that we could come and have a chat about Accountex. But the trouble is, so many people want to be on this show. This was the earliest we could get you in. Where are we? Middle of July. And when was Accountex?
It was in May, middle of May. So yeah,
Okay.
You're so popular.
Well, I don't know why. Have you got over that hangover yet? Because I'm not talking about a drinking hangover. I'm talking about it's just so much fun, isn't it? And have you caught up with your sleep?
Oh, do you know what? It takes ages to go over it. And I think you're on such a high, both at the show and after the show, that it's and when you finally do come down from that high, it's a bit depressing. Luckily for us, we always have another event in the offing, and we've got Manchester coming up on the 17th of September. So there's no rest of the wicked. We're back on that straight away. But yeah, I've not had a day off since the show, actually.
Oh, that's crazy.
And
I thought you had a little break.
No, I've got a holiday booked for next week. So I cannot wait.
Definitely need that, and you definitely deserve it. Are you allowed to say where you're going?
I am off to Corfu.
Oh wow! That's where we went before.
That's where you went. There you go. You see, so
I totally recommend the sea.
great minds think alike.
Yeah, no, an absolutely amazing destination, and I'm definitely going to go back to a Greek island because we had an absolutely amazing time. And I went just before Accountex, which at the time I thought was crazy, but it was the best decision I made because I was ready for Accountex.
I'm so sorry, Ashley. I've just got something in my eye. Give me 1 second.
No, that's all right.
To do this on live TV, but I have got something in my eye. Sorry.
So while Caroline's coming off camera, we'll talk about Accountex. And basically, if you don't know, Accountex is the world's biggest accountancy show. And Caroline heads it up. And she's back now. That's all right.
I'm so sorry. I think I've got an eyelash sort of sticking in my eye, which is making my eye water. I can promise you I'm not being very emotional.
It's all right. I use that trick as well. Don't you worry. Don't you worry.
Lord. All happens on live.
I was just about to say award-winning show as well. Caroline Hobden, how did that happen?
Well, our global portfolios have done really, really well. So we've got we got Best International Trade Show for Accountancy España at the Exhibition News Awards, which was incredible. But then gearing up to the AEO Awards, which is like the Oscars for the accounting world. And we won Best Trade Show under 2,000 square meters for our Manchester event. So we're just on a high at the moment. It's all going incredibly well. Yeah, we're really thrilled.
Good. And I believe the numbers were up on last year.
Our numbers were up by about 7% at London. So we got over 11,000 attendees to the show, which was absolutely incredible. And I think that if you look at sort of pre-COVID numbers, that's around 21% up. So definitely going in the right direction. And yeah, extremely thrilled with how it's gone.
So pre-COVID, your numbers were, I don't know, let's just pick a number up, 9 or 10 grand. And now it's over 11. So yeah. COVID, we obviously had a little bit of no one's going out anymore, but now they are coming out in their droves and enjoying the show.
It's lovely to see as well. And I think you did have a little bit of a hangover after COVID for a couple of years, but this year's show, everyone was out in force. Everyone brought their A game, from the speakers to the exhibitors to the attendees. It was such a celebration of the profession, and it was really an honor to be part of it.
No, absolutely. I totally agree. It was so much fun. And it was like Christmas. It was like Christmas, and like you say, that the following days, weeks were sort of like, oh, but like you say, we've got Manchester to look forward to.
There's always something on the horizon. So
I guess you're not allowed to say anything about what's happening in Manchester just yet, but that's soon, isn't it?
It's very soon, 17th of September at Manchester Central. It's a one-day event, and the programme will be launched in the coming weeks, and it's going to be an absolute killer of an event. We love that show. It's, for those who've been to both events, Manchester is much more manageable. You can do it in a day. You get some fantastic networking in there, and it's a lovely way to spend the day. Come along and join us.
Yeah, I've never been. I came last year.
Oh yeah, of course.
So I was there. I was there last year. I was on a panel and helping a friend on a stand, and it's intimate, isn't it? It is absolutely intimate, and it's a different buzz. It's a different buzz, isn't it?
It really is. I mean, you're still going to get over 3,000 people at the event in September. So
wow.
But you're really right in your description of it. It's an intimate event where you have got an opportunity to speak to people, and you can have quality conversations as well. And it's manageable. I think if anyone feels that London's quite overwhelming, Manchester has a very, very different feel about it. And we're really looking forward to it.
Yeah, I was chatting to a lady just before Accountex. Are you going to Accountex? And no, and she lived much nearer London than she did Manchester, but prefers Manchester because of the size.
Yeah.
And so there you go.
And I think that's why we, for the first time at London this year, we put a quiet zone together, which was an opportunity for anybody that does have those moments of overwhelm, that they can go off to a quiet space off the show floor, and they can actually decompress, have a moment to themselves. It was soft lighting in there. It was, because I honestly, I do understand. And that's why we do take measures to hopefully try and make it more manageable for those that might find it overwhelming.
Yeah, some of us didn't have time to go to that.
I know. Sorry, Ashley, you weren't allowed.
I could have done with it. It was a busy show, wasn't it?
It was so busy, and I think it's just to explain to the audience, if they don't know, that Ashley, you ran an incredibly successful LinkedIn lounge at the show, which was a physical space on the show floor where you help people, didn't you, on their LinkedIn journeys and help them with their own personal branding. And you did some fantastic and very well attended presentations as well. And you were literally run off your feet every time I walked past you. I had queues of people trying to talk to you. So congratulations to you.
It was hilarious. It just shows, Caroline, that people know that they need to be doing something on LinkedIn, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
They know that they need to be doing something on LinkedIn, and what I was showing them was some shortcuts, some quick wins, and then it was very easy to show people these things and just help them. I gave away a few copies of my book as well, so hopefully there's a few more people using LinkedIn after that event. But yeah, it was great to be there, and thank you so much for the stand. It was incredible. And the thing that got me right was every single Accountex stand had a pink carpet, so we knew that it was you. And then you never told me, but I had a yellow carpet. It was just incredible.
It's true. We do all our feature areas. We give pink carpet to, because it helps for them to stand out. But anyone who knows Ashley with his yellow branding, that is Ashley. And I just couldn't bring myself to give you a pink carpet. I was like, no. I mean, it's not the easiest of things to keep clean, a yellow carpet. But
no, tell me about it.
Yeah, but it just worked. It made your stand pop, and I'm really pleased that we did it.
No, it was great fun. So highlights of Accountex London then. Come on, Caroline.
Oh my goodness, there are so many highlights from the show. I mean, obviously the number we got through the door, record-breaking number of people through the door. It was wonderful to see that kind of support. I'd say that we did quite a few features at the show, and new ones as well that went down extremely well. I've already mentioned the quiet zone, and that was so well utilized by those people that needed it. But we had other areas as well at the show, or other features, things like we did sign language. We had BSL interpreters in a number of the theatres, which was very well received. We recorded all of our seminar sessions. So we have 12 theatres at Accountex, people that don't know, and we recorded every single session and made them available to anyone who came to the show. So unfortunately, if you didn't come to the show, you do not get access, but you get them for free if you came to the show. And for so many people, that made a massive difference, because you can't be in 12 places at any one time. You know, you've really got to make some difficult decisions, but knowing that you can catch up later on demand was hugely popular. We had other areas like a cybersecurity hub, where anyone who was confused about the threats that are currently out there.
That was where the police car was, wasn't it?
It was.
That was very popular. I heard lots of great reports on that one.
It was so great. And there was a juxtaposition between a very old sort of Morris Minor police car from the 50s, trying to say, look, don't be old fashioned. You've got to get up on the security threat. And we had the Met Police actually running the area with the Cyber Resilience Centre. So that was such an added value to the people that came along. We worked very closely with HMRC, and they did a tax hub where you could ask them anything, and they were on hand. They really were front and centre. I think anyone who tries to sort of use the phone lines or speak to HMRC, they get frustrated, but I promise you, they were there in force, and they were so willing and open to help anyone they could. On top of that, there's so many other feature areas I could name, but I think it's all about the program and the number. We had over 412 speakers at the show.
That's incredible.
And yeah, it was just amazing. We had people like Lord Philip Hammond, the former Chancellor of the Exchequer, came along and did a fantastic presentation. It really was very well attended, and actually I think he did an incredible job of delivering his message. The fabulous Jerry Williams, who you've had on this show before. We had Nicholas Hamilton, who is the brother of Lewis Hamilton and is a racing car driver in his own right, came along to do a motivational talk. So it was buzzing. It was electric. I loved every second. And now I've got to try and think how to top it for next year.
Yes, that's the problem, isn't it? And every single week that you came on the show, and I don't know if you saw my write-up, you're the most... you've been on my show the most. Yeah, I've had no one on my show as much as you.
Well, I'm very grateful.
Every single week you came on the show, and that was 10, 11, 12 shows I think we did before Accountex. You had something new to tell us.
Yeah, we did.
So yeah.
We did. We had something like 42 new elements at the show this year. So that could include things like the sign language or the quiet zone, things like that. 17 of those were physical, brand new features on the show floor. Some of them I've mentioned. We also had automation station where people could ask any question they like. If they've got a confusion about software and they don't know where to turn, we had experts on hand to answer those questions. And of course, the lovely Rachel Harris, who did her content creation clinic, and she helped people with their social media journeys. So there is so much added value from coming to Accountex. We don't want people to come along and it's just an exhibition and it's a conference program. We want there to be interaction. We want to offer opportunities to network. We want to have so much value there that you go home and you go away feeling so inspired that you've got tangible takeaways to put into your own business. And from the feedback that we've had, which has been out of this world, I really hope that we met those objectives.
Yeah, fantastic. So where did you come up with all your ideas, Caroline?
It's a really good question. We do our very best to listen to the audience, and we do that. Obviously, we're keeping in touch all the time, but we also facilitated a visitor advisory board last year, and we invited some accountants and bookkeepers who've been to the show before to come along and really give their insights on the things they liked, the things they didn't like, the things they want to improve, all the things they would like to see that are brand new. And it was such an open conversation around a table, and people had the most fantastic ideas, and so many of them, I'm proud to say, we did actually put into the 2024 show. And we've also just very recently held an exhibitor advisory board. And so we invite a selection of exhibitors to come along and share their journey, share their interests, share what they're seeing, and give us feedback. Because we've got to keep moving. We cannot stand still, and I won't let us stand still. We've got to keep moving forward and striving for the best.
And that's the key, isn't it? Because it's sort of like, oh, it's just another show, but it definitely isn't just another show. And if you've got, so you invite a load of visitors, and I guess they come and have lunch or something with you, and they just turn around and go, "Be nice if we had this. That was rubbish," or like the idea of that. Any ideas that are sort of like so off the wall you think we can't do that, but then you manage to?
Probably all of them. I think I have to. If you could see the face on my team when I come around, I go, "Oh, I've got another idea." It doesn't always go down extremely well, but I think one of the major successes from the show this year was our sustainability zone. And I started talking with James Lizards, who's a very well-known accountant, who's very passionate about sustainability. And he put me in touch with a fantastic team. And together we developed this sustainability zone. And I remember having to tell our team one day that we're going to have like a huge igloo, a little bit like an Eden project, and it's going to be an escape room. And rolling off idea after idea, and they just looking at me just like dumbfounded. But I tell you what, it came together. It was a huge success. It was very, very busy. And so I guess ideas like that are fun to see come to fruition.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you say, it's not just an exhibition, is it? And you go to some of these exhibitions and it's just stand after stand after stand of people pitching to you. And I'm talking generally, I'm not talking just the accountancy space. But I think people love going to Accountex because they actually get to talk to other accountants and bookkeepers. You had the bookkeepers zone, didn't you?
Yeah.
So they were all hanging out, just chilling and eating cake. I saw Libby with her lemon drizzle.
I love Libby.
I managed to get a piece. Did you get any of her lemon drizzle?
I don't think. Do you know? I think I was so busy at the show that I don't think I did. I did get a lovely hug from her though, so that made up for it because I do love Libby.
Yeah, she is absolutely brilliant. And it shows like Accountex that have brought people like Libby into the spotlight, out of the shadows, and because they can go, they feel welcome, they enjoy the buzz, they get to talk to different people, they see different opportunities. It's more than just buying a bit of software or finding out something from the HMRC, isn't it?
It really is. And I think the one thing that we're really passionate about is that, and I think a lot of people would presume that the only people that we will put on the stage are experienced speakers that have done millions of presentations themselves, and that's not true. We are looking for to help give people a platform if they're interested in speaking or if they've got a voice that they want to share something. We're really looking for new up and coming talent as well. And there's so many incredible names in the program this year who had never spoken at an event before, and with a little bit of support they did a fantastic job. And I really hope they'll go on to do many more presentations in the future as well.
I've seen some of their posts on LinkedIn. It was my first ever time. I want to do it again.
I know, it's addictive, isn't it?
That is what we want, isn't it? That is what we want. We want more people having a go, like you say, rather than all the same old.
I mean, you're a really experienced speaker, aren't you? And it is an addictive thing to do. Once you get on that stage, and if you get the positive feedback, you just want to do it again and again and again. So I think that's my challenge. Is I get so many incredible people spoke at 2024. They would probably all like to speak again in 2025, but I've obviously got to keep things fresh and move along. So it's a challenge. It's a juggle, but it's one that
it's a nice challenge to have, isn't it? Because there are some events where you're like, oh, I haven't got any speakers. I was talking to somebody, they wanted me to be a speaker, but I had to actually pay to speak at the event.
No.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I would get publicity for my business, so I had to pay to speak at the event, and it wasn't a huge event like Accountex either. And it's sort of like, hang on, you've got this wrong. You're not. This was all about making money, not making an amazing experience for all the visitors.
Yeah.
You've got to think about it, because without the visitors, you haven't got an exhibition.
No.
And so if you don't make it exciting for the exhibitors, give them something to want to come and see. And in your case, you have to give them something to want to come and see 2 days.
Yeah.
Then how are you going to get them there? And
you're not going to get. Yeah. Sorry.
You're not going to get many good speakers come if they've got to pay.
No, absolutely not. And it's like a perfect ecosystem that everybody is coming at it from different angles. But I think the wonderful thing about this profession is genuinely everybody there wants to help. So for the speakers, they are there to share their knowledge and to give back and to help the next generation coming through, or to help other people who've got problems. And that is so important. And as you know, our speaker sessions at Accountex are not commercial by any means. They're all thought leadership sessions, and the value that's taken away from them is just second to none.
Yeah, no, it was I've watched a few of the recordings back, and there's still millions more to watch.
Yeah.
But,
did you watch your own?
No, I haven't actually. I haven't. No, I haven't even thought of that. It was just a blur. It was just a blur, wasn't it? But there was a few people that I specifically wanted to go and see, so I've watched theirs. So that's the benefit of attending both days, is because you've now got that library of information that you can catch up on. And someone listening to this now might be thinking, "Oh, I forgot about that. I had an email back then," and they're going to go and watch it. So it's evergreen content, isn't it?
It is. I would encourage you, if you did come to the show and you haven't yet watched the seminar recordings, they will expire next month. So we keep them online for a few months, but it's worth going to go and have a look at them ASAP if there were any that you wanted to catch up on.
No, fantastic. You said you don't put them on a YouTube channel or anything like that then?
No, I don't know. I must admit, I don't know all the technicalities around it. That's up to my marketing team, but I am told that it will expire in a month's time.
Yeah, because that's an awful lot of space on someone's hard drive, isn't it? Or servers, or however that works.
Yeah, no, it really is. It really is. But again, it was probably one of the most well-received additions to the show that we did this year. It's come up numerous times, the opportunity to be able to watch some of the recordings back. So yeah, it's something that
what was the thinking behind all of that, Caroline? Because it's a clever move.
It was really, having read many of the visitor surveys from previous years and speaking to the Visitor Advisory Board, and it was just a comment someone made that said, you know what, you can't be in 12 places at one time. And throughout I'll say on day one, there are 8 sessions that one person can attend if they attend a session after session after session. And I think you've got over 100 on day one that are available. So this way, we're saying to you, come along, pick out the sessions you want to see in person, but then you can continue the learning experience after the show. And it all comes back to value for us. We want to deliver added value where we can and make sure that Accountex is the #1 event in people's minds.
Yeah, perfect. Because I have seen this before in other exhibitions, but they actually charge extra on the ticket price.
Yeah.
To have that facility. So, are you missing out a revenue stream?
I think yes, we are, absolutely. But if everything we did was about the bottom line, then we wouldn't have half the features at this show, which are all things we invest in. Luckily for us on the recordings, we did have a sponsor who helped cover our costs. So Moneypenny, the fabulous team at Moneypenny, sponsored the recordings, and we were able to do it. But no, I've got no interest in charging any of our visitors to watch that. I know that other events you can upgrade your ticket and pay a fee, and that's absolutely their decision. But for us, it's our thank you. It's thank you for coming to the show. And if you didn't come to the show, unfortunately, you don't get the seminar recordings. So it's definitely our way of giving back.
That's like a webinar, isn't it? Sort of like attend the webinar and you'll get these 5 secrets or whatever. But if you don't attend, you're not going to see it. But some companies are like, well, you can have an access to the recording or something. So it's a really nice touch, Caroline, because you're right. There's no way that you can watch 100 seminars physically impossible. So
I have
something
tried.
in your eye. I had something in my throat.
Oh no, it seems to be, I don't know, it's like hay fever central or something around here, but yeah.
No, we've got a couple of people saying hello. So we've got Manoj there and Satinder. So hi there, guys.
Hi, guys.
If you've been to Accountex and you've got any comments or anything you'd like to say to Caroline, then we've got about 6 minutes before we go. We said at the beginning that time would just absolutely fly by.
Always does when we chat, Ashley, doesn't it?
Yeah. So how many of your team have taken holidays since Accountex? Because they absolutely smashed it out of the park. They worked so hard, didn't they?
Oh my goodness, I can't tell you how incredible this team is. They work morning, noon, and night to deliver incredible events. I'm so lucky. I'm so proud. I think a lot of them did take a bit of time off after the show. You cannot blame them, absolutely necessary. But we're already well into the way of organising the 2025 show for London. And obviously, like we said before, we've got Manchester on the horizon. And Ashley, you're going to be making a return to Accountex Takeover Manchester on the 17th of September, aren't you?
Oh, I didn't know we were announcing anything yet. Oh, wow, what a surprise.
This is my only time I get to speak to you right now, so I'm announcing it all. But yes, I'm delighted to say that Ashley's going to be running his LinkedIn Lounge up in Manchester, and will be moderating a session as well. More to be revealed, but you can learn all of Ashley's incredible knowledge by coming to the show.
And what they need to do now is make sure they make a beeline, because the queue is out the blog. And my daughter came along, Caroline, as you jolly well know. And when I said to her the other day, do you fancy going to Manchester? She was so made up. She was so made up. So she's looking forward to coming again.
I love that she got to see you in your element as well, because I think, we all go to work and our kids probably have absolutely no idea what we really do. And I know that she got to see you and was in complete awe of all your talents. So that's a lovely thing.
Well, yeah, it's funny, isn't it? Because I'm here in my shed. They walk past the shed and they see me just doing something. They can see that I'm live now, so they're not going to pop in. Sometimes they come to the door and they wave, and I say, yeah, I'm not working. They come in. But that's all they see. They don't see me talking, interacting, helping people in real life. Yeah. And so we came out of the show the first day. She was absolutely buzzing, and it's lovely. It made the show. Her seeing me, and since then, I've actually changed what I'm doing. So rather than doing my workshops on a regular basis, I've cut all that, and I'm concentrating on one-to-one corporate training and more live talking and speaking gigs, but all because of what she said, giving me the confidence to believe in myself, because there is only me, and I think that's the biggest problem when you're working on your own. And a lot of our accountants and bookkeepers work on their own. So mixing with peers and coming to shows like Accountex, they get a lot of inspiration. So yeah, really good.
I love that, and it was lovely to have her there. And I'm sure you were probably relieved to have some support and help, because you were very busy. So
I did need it. She was a little star. She was an absolute star. By the end of day one, she was giving the advice that I was giving, because she just picked it up by osmosis.
She picked it up. That's amazing. Yeah. It's in the genes.
Yeah, not only that, some of us took our parents to Accountex.
I know it was. So my children are still a little bit young to come along to the show, but I was very lucky and grateful. My parents came along, and it's especially important because my dad was an accountant for many years, and he's retired now. And they came up to the show, and I walked them around, and my dad was recognizing a lot of the software vendors and go, I know them. And it was lovely, because again, I tell them what I do. I've been organizing trade shows for nearly 25 years, a very long time. And for them to actually be able to see the show, whilst it was, not on a build-up day, not on, when it's all messy, but actually see it live in action, was a very, very proud moment for me. So yes, Dad was in his element, let's say.
Good for you. Got a question. Where do we get the recording of the accountant seminars? Didn't join the call at the beginning.
Okay.
Great question.
So yeah, absolutely. If you did come to the show, then you will have received an email from our team with the seminar recordings. Unfortunately, as I said before, if you weren't in attendance at the show, then we're not making those recordings available. But you're very welcome to email me, and I will have a chat with our marketing team, and we can get something over to you. My email address is chobden@divcom.co.uk.
Excellent. And we'll put that in the show notes at the end, Caroline, so people can get hold of you. But that's great. So excellent. So hopefully you went and you'll be able to see all of those amazing talks. there was a couple of ones on the Money Penny stand where I was talking about LinkedIn, but there's too much. There's too many. So yeah, you can just bin Netflix for a month and just watch Accountex.
Absolutely. There you go. Much more fun.
In fact, I have heard that Netflix are talking to Accountex about the recordings. Isn't that right?
Oh, wouldn't that be great? They should come and do a show or come and do a movie about accountants at Accountex. That'd be even better.
Oh my goodness! Behind the scenes, that would be amazing.
Behind the scenes, the exhibition. I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, Caroline, we said in the green room before we started, we just rattle on. I love talking to you. Thank you very much indeed for coming along. Looking forward to September. Have a good summer. Enjoy Corfu, and thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me. Lovely to see you as always.
And you. We'll be back next week. My guest is yet to be revealed, so we'll see what happens. Cheerio.
See ya.
You get out what you put in. Never gonna lose, never gonna win. Long as you're happy, you're always gonna grin. You get out what you put in.